Okay, this is Jolie here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Harlem Eubank here in central London. Harlem, I saw your recent Instagram post. I thought you'd be wearing that same white jacket that covers your face. I liked it, man.
I switch it up on them, give them a few different looks.
You a fan of your fashion, yeah?
Yeah, of course. I like to, dress with my own style and put my stamp on it.
Love that. Well, let's get on to the boxing side of things. And obviously, last time out, it was more of a stressful fight with obviously everything that was going on with Liam and Adam. But this time out, you're going to have more of a relaxed fight. And it's a good one against Sean Dodd as well, the Masher.
It's a good one. He's experienced. He's been in them big domestic fights. So it's a good chance for me to really test my skills against someone like that who's been there and done it. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, you're undefeated, of course. What do you think he brings to the ring other than obviously the experience he's got?
He's going to be crafty. He's going to be tough. He's going to be wily. So it's a good test to see how I can combat that experience and how I can get that experience from him, draw that from him in the fight. I'm going to face some tests in there as well, and I'm going to come through them with flying colours.
Of course, his last fight was only a 3-rounder against Corey Gibbs in the Boxer tournament, of course. That was only 3 rounds, but the last round he came on really strong. Do you feel like you're going to be able to exploit that, though? Because you're fighting in a 10-rounder, so I'm sure he won't be able to come out that explosive for 1 round.
So in 3 rounds, you can't gain any information from that. This is professional boxing. This is a 10-round fight. It's a much different process. So I don't think you can take much from them 3-round fights. I'm expecting, a peak Sean Dodd and everything that he comes with. So I'm ready for the best version of him come May 13th.
Yeah, of course. And this obviously your second 10-rounder. What can we expect from you? A little bit different with these longer rounds.
You're going to see more energy. You're going to see more creativeness. You're going to see more explosiveness. And I get better as the fight goes on. I've shown that in some of my previous fights. As I gain, momentum through the fight, I believe I'll become more dangerous. And the more rounds, the better for me.
Obviously, with Wasserman, when you originally signed, or Sauerland originally signed the kind of deal, it was on Sky Sports. Now it's moved over to Channel 5. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. Terrestrial TV is, the peak, in my opinion, to gain the viewers that wouldn't necessarily otherwise watch boxing, for them to watch you fight and maybe follow your journey if they like what they see. That opportunity is great, to actually gain a fan base that wouldn't necessarily watch boxing and bring them on your journey. That's big for me, and that's also what my cousin done with Channel 5. I was inspired by watching that, and now this is my chance to take over on Channel 5.
Would you like to obviously continue to fight on the same bills as Chris in the future, of course, on Channel 5 terrestrial for loads of people to see?
Definitely, it's great when it's a family occasion. It was nice being up with him on the fight week, and I think it's great for the fans to see the two of us fight on the same show as well. And I really enjoyed that last time out and would love to do it in the future.
I want to talk about people in the super lightweight division, but first just kind of on Chris as well. What did you learn from being on the same card, getting so much exposure as well?
What did I learn? There was a lot of things to learn psychologically in that fight build-up with the backstory of Liam in the gym, and just remaining focused, remaining headstrong, and not being swayed or thrown off by any of the outside factors. This game is also a mental, battle as well as a physical one when you're in there. So it's always good to practice them outside elements that can potentially throw you off, and not be fazed by them.
Now, as I mentioned, you're undefeated, of course. Why do you think your manager Adam Booth didn't match you up with the likes of Sam Maxwell? Is he someone that you feel like you can see yourself beating down the line?
I think I could beat Sam Maxwell now. I think, I'm not fazed by that fight at all. I think, I see myself, as one of the better fighters in the division. So I'm really, I'm all up for them fights there, for sure.
How much have you thought about that specific fight already? Is it something you've had in mind?
Well, I think he had the British, and he vacated it, so it would have been great to fight for the British title, but he's vacated. I don't know what he's doing now, but I'd love that fight.
And I presume Akeem Ennis-Brown as well. Those obviously former British and Commonwealth champ. That fight as well. You're not kind of afraid to be at that level soon. After this fight, is that kind of what you'd expect?
I think I am at that level, and pushing forward. I think after this fight, I think there'll be maybe one towards the end of the year, and then achieve towards the end of the year. That's the fights we're looking for. We're looking to push on and show the division what I'm about.
Now, I mentioned your cousin Chris Eubank Jr. a moment ago. There's one fight we haven't spoken about. Obviously, since Kell Brook battered Amir Khan, in fairness, there's been talks of a fight between Kell and Chris Eubank Jr. What do you make of that fight?
I think it's a great fight for the fans. It's a fan-friendly fight. They're both big personalities in the UK, and they don't like each other. It's no secret. So it's a good clash of styles for one, but personalities, more so. I think it'll be a very interesting fight with the fight build-up, the press conferences, and I think it's a fight which Chris dominates quite handily.
How would you see it playing out in terms of, would it go the distance? Would it be back and forth? Would there be a KO?
I think Kell's always a fast starter, so I think Kell might win some of the early rounds. But I think Chris's work rate, his tenacity is a whole different thing. So beyond into the second half of the fight, it's Chris domination.
And obviously with Amir Khan fighting Kell, he said he doesn't want to retire just yet. What do you make of that? Do you think it's the right thing to stay on and have a few more fights?
Are you talking about Amir Khan or Kell Brook? I think Amir, he's given a lot to boxing, and I think he should hang him up now. I think he's given everything he has to boxing, and now I don't think there's any need for him to hang around. I think I don't think he'd be doing himself any favors by staying around to fight now. I think retire, go into something else, and enjoy the fruits of his labor.
Same question goes for Kell. Do you think it would have been good to hang up his gloves while he was on top after he beat Amir Khan?
I think he could, but I feel like, I don't feel like that fight really took much out of him. I think he's regained confidence from that win, and now I think he wants to exercise that confidence. So if he wants to do that, there's big fights out there for him.
Nice one, man. Thanks for that. Respect, bro. Thank you.